of Game 2. It's funny how that works. Elis listos. That means I am ready.
listos.
No, I want to say I am ready. Estoy listos. Hernan's teaching us Spanish.
Chilean
Estoy
Spanish.
listos means I am ready. And are you estoy listos?
Si, senor.
Excellent. Oh, wow. Look at you, Tommy. That's
all right.
That's pretty impressive.
I like Spanish.
It's
a
pretty
fun
impressive.
language.
I'd like to learn it. We had two options in junior high school. It was French or German. And I took French because they had Montreal Canadiens magazines in there.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
The motivating factor.
Yeah.
German seems very hard. I'm not going to lie. Those words and like.
I almost took German because I had a
cadence.
crush on the German teacher's daughter who happened to be in my grade.
Yeah, was she pretty
And I
girl?
knew she was going to be in there.
Yeah.
And she was like one of my first crushes. And I was like, maybe I'll take German. But then I was like, who am I kidding? They have Habs magazines in French.
Yeah, well.
So my first true love, the Montreal Canadiens, drew me to French.
I respect that.
Yeah.
German people, they're very clean. They're very disciplined.
Leon's handsome.
They're generally quite good looking. Not always, but generally.
I've seen an ugly German a time or two.
Yeah.
You think?
Sure.
Mesut Ozil. Have you ever seen him?
No.
Former.
Is this another Spanish word?
No, he's a German soccer player. Played for Arsenal.
Mesut, is he ugly as hell or is he a handsome man?
Google him.
Okay.
Ozil?
Ozil.
Mesut Ozil.
O-Z-U-L.
Oh, I spelt it right.
Is he supposed to be good looking or bad looking?
Oh, he's an ugly dude.
Yeah, he's not.
He looks like a bug.
Yeah. He does look like a bug.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Yeah.
soccer player.
So they're not all good looking.
Yeah.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. You can text us here on the oil stream, which is, as always, presented to you by Boston Pizza, where they have the new playoff menu out right now. It is available, and it is absolutely delicious. I mean, we've been at a lot of places that have rolled out new menus at times, including Boston Pizza multiple times. But this playoff menu at BP's is an all-timer.
You're sampling some of it right now.
I am. This is the triple pepperoni pizza.
Oh, man.
Like, you will not believe how much pepperoni is on. In fact, I'll show the camera here.
It is a little. I have some. I ordered one later, and I realized I was eating at like 10:30 the other night at BP Westgate. So I had 3 slices, 3 different pepperonis on there.
Tell them about the pepperoni.
What are the different pepperonis? There's a small pepperoni, big one, and then the strips of pepperoni. Yeah, and it's fat. And then Trev was talking about that they changed their pizza sauce, and it's a little bit sweeter, tangier. It's very good. He's like, I would have a pizza every day, so I know the sauce. And he says they've changed it for the better.
Cheers to BP's.
Thank you, Jason and Lisa from BP Clariview, for stopping by. Very nice to see them, and very clutch fuel for today's epic day.
I sold a splash of Reed's meeting pop
from 2 weeks ago.
It's flat as hell, but that's okay.
No way.
Yeah.
He insists on pop every meeting, and then he doesn't have any.
Do we have any spiced rum kicking around over there?
We do. Joaquin was sampling some yesterday.
Hey, Nanso, can you bring me the spiced rum? This flat pop needs to be picked up a little bit, and it's a game day.
Game day.
Where we get so huge shout out to Curtis and Tony and the crew at Boston Pizza Westgate.
Yep.
Thank you, my man.
Splash.
Little splash. I'll say when. When?
That's pretty good.
We're working here, for goodness sakes.
Look at you doing the bottle thing.
Yeah,
you
thanks,
used to
man.
be a bartender.
He used to be a bartender.
Yeah.
But fun time for game 1.
Awesome time.
The place was rocking when they tied it at 5.
Oh my God, was it ever?
And then I don't think I'd ever heard a quieter Boston Pizza in my entire life.
It rocked for
when
about 48
Deneau
seconds.
scored.
Yeah.
That one sucked big time.
The Hind Banana.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was our location for game 1. Game 2 tonight, GCL Diesel, pregame show, postgame show, Hudson's, Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall. It should be pretty fun as well. That show will start at 6:30.
Yep.
Reed Wilkins show will go an extra half hour today, and then straight into the GCL Diesel pregame show at 6:30. There's a few of us coming down there for the game tonight as well. So
look forward to
it. Should be a lot of fun. But once again, yeah, thanks to Clariview BPs for dropping off these damn little pepperonis.
They're so good.
They're so good.
Oh, I had a slice yesterday at home because I had
ordered one of these. Yeah.
I ordered one, but when I looked at the clock,
That was good.
it was like 9:45, 10, and I got it like 10 minutes later, and I started having. I had 3 slices, and I'm like, I'm like, I shouldn't be eating this late.
Yeah.
But I was hungry, and I lost track of time of day. And
So then you took it home, but
I
Pierre
had-
Montenegro's trying to steal it.
Oh, he did. Him and Eric were
It was
very
a funny joke for a bit.
I was like, where the hell did my pizza go?
And also, thank you to you for your admission of guilt in Poutine Gate by bringing me a poutine
Yeah.
on Monday night.
I'm not always
Hey,
wrong.
let's bury the hatchet. Hatchet bury. That was a bad first handshake.
And we even hugged it out. We did a video and everything.
We did. It was pretty good.
I felt good about it.
All right, here we go. Game 2, Oilers tonight. And Evander Kane
Yeah.
returns to the lineup in the top 6.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts? 780-218-9999. Hit us up over in the nasty chat as well. Skinner out, Kane in, as expected, right? We didn't.
Yeah.
There's no way Knobloch, who seems to have taken joy in scratching Skinner even after good games this year, there's no way that dude was staying in the lineup with Kane coming back.
No. And like, what were the other options? I see, was it Gord Marner in the nasty chat says he would have liked to see Podkolzin taken out there instead. You kind of knew that Skinner wasn't really a lock to be in the lineup, especially if a guy like Kane could come back. The other question mark I had is, would Frederick still be okay? Because he only played 9 minutes, and you could tell, like, that ankle is. We're not going to see a healthy Trent Frederick all playoffs, unfortunately. I do hope they keep Frederick and find a way to sign him, because I think he brings an element to this team that it lacks, and that's just like playing like an a-hole. And Kane can do that. Kane can do it at an elite level. I don't know where Kane will be at in terms of game shape and all that. And I know he's been working with David Pelche a lot and trying to get ready. And Kane is very confident in his abilities, to quote unquote be ready and play. Put your money where your mouth is, Evander. That's all I have to say. And I like the fact that they're able to get a guy like him back in the lineup. I think he does. Dusty, even if he can't, handle the puck as well as he would in a regular circumstance where he hadn't missed a full season, even if he is a step behind getting to an offensive opportunity because he's just not there and hasn't played in so long, as long as he's bringing some edge physically, mixing it up, getting in the Kings' heads, I think that's a boon for this team. I think that's something that Jeff Skinner can't do. I think he's more of a playoff performer than Jeff Skinner. I understand why they get him in. I understand why they take Skinner out. And so be it. I mean, he's kind of, I think there's a confidence that comes with Evander Kane too.
Here are the forward line combinations. I think I first saw them from Stoff on Twitter. McDavid between Perry and Draisaitl. Nuge, Kane, and Hyman. Henrique with Brown and Frederick. And Matthias Janmark slides over to center Arvidsson and Podkolzin, which is kind of an interesting line, to be honest with you. Your thoughts on Perry? And we were talking about it this morning. Like, what is the best second line you could possibly build? And we did say today, if Kane returns, I think it's Nuge between Hyman and Kane, which is what we will apparently see to at least start the game tonight. Now, Jamie McLennan was on this morning, says he just thinks it should be Hyman locked in with McDavid and Draisaitl and go from there. So how much moving of the right wingers do you expect to see tonight? Or can Perry ride shotgun with the big boys for an entire game?
I think he could. It depends on the situation, though. I think if things go sideways and they're down a couple goals like they were in game 1, I hope to God, for the sake of oil country, that doesn't happen.
Oh, can you imagine?
I think if the game is going well and these lines are providing bare minimum tilting the ice, the top 2 lines tilting the ice, getting offensive zone time, not costing themselves chances in the defensive zone, I don't think we see it change. Now, if they need a goal, then Hyman gets up there really quickly.
Is that the kind of like the nuclear goes a little more nuclear?
Yeah.
By throwing Hyman up there.
I think so. But I look at this lineup, I go, okay, let's see how it starts. I mean, like we said, going into game 1, it changes so fast that it almost doesn't matter. Like, if they roll with these 4 lines, and it's a good first period. Maybe they have a lead, for crying out loud. I don't think we're seeing any changes till the third period, depending on the scenario. Janmark with Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Like, this seems like a balanced lineup. Now, I would think, in theory, if Draisaitl and McDavid didn't have to play together, you could add more.
I would think Draisaitl's in that Janmark spot, right? Just staying between Arvidsson and Podkolzin, really.
Yeah, exactly. And then you probably have Janmark on the wing instead, right?
All right, so we do want your thoughts on this, folks. Text us if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Fire us a text, 780-218-9999, or over in the nasty chat. Do you like what they appear to be rolling out with tonight? McDavid between Draisaitl and Perry, Nuge between Hyman and Kane, Henrique, Brown, and Frederick, Janmark, Arvidsson, and Podkolzin. And we'll get to the blue line in a second where it looks like Klingberg will slide back in, and we'll see how they use him, but he might be starting alongside Walman. But you know what? The one thing that really jumps off the page to me is if they, like, let's say they get in a good spot where they don't have to just heap 26 minutes onto McDavid and Draisaitl tonight. All 4 of these lines, and the 3 specifically outside of McDavid and Draisaitl, like the way these lines are put together, they are all very playable. Whereas the Los Angeles Kings basically didn't ice a 4th line in the last game, Tommy. So I guess,
or third pairing.
I guess what I'm saying, this forward group looks much deeper than what the Kings are rolling out. We talk about like the top end, like the high end.
Yes.
We know the Oilers have the advantage in that. I think with the way that these lines are structured right now, they're the deeper of the 2 teams as well up front.
I've always thought that, because I thought it was interesting going into the series. We had an extra day or 2, obviously, to set up the series. Those who made the statement that the LA Kings are deeper at forward, I was like, where do you see that? How do you see that? And I stand by it. And I mean, you have so many moving pieces, and these are all veteran NHL players.
Yeah.
There are no tweeners. There are no guys called up from the AHL that you're hoping they can perform for you.
There's no waiver claims in this lineup right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that the Oilers win and have the check mark beside their name at forward still. Defense, even the defense, I was looking at, I'm like, okay, you've got Gavrikov. He's playing with Spence, who barely played.
Spence barely played.
Brent Clark, who's paired up with Joel Edmondson. Brent Clark didn't play a ton. The Kings essentially have 4 defensemen.
Yeah. Yeah, Brent Clark, who I like, only played 11 minutes.
Yeah.
They were running their 4 veterans as well, right? Edmondson,
exactly.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
Now, we'll get to the blue line conversation in a second. Let's get to some of your text messages over on the chat as well. Let's start with this one in the chat from Gord. If you're watching today over on YouTube, make sure you turn on autoplay, stick around, because if you like the oil stream, you're going to absolutely love EST Afternoons. It's like a 2-hour oil stream. And then the Reed Wilkes Show is like a 3-hour oil stream, 3.5 hour today, as we continue to get ready for this game tonight. As Lieutenant Eric described it this morning, the longest pregame show in the city. Because we're rolling out 14 straight hours of pregame coverage.
6 good shows in there.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's insane. But we know you love it, so we want to get you ready. Gord says, clearly to me, Skinner should be in over Arvidsson. If Perry is riding shotgun, Skinner, who had chemistry with McDavid, would be primed to pick up some shifts there. Arvidsson has chemistry with no one. Go ahead on this one. I got something to say on it too.
Skinner, in the last 5 games where he was playing with McDavid, had how many points?
I believe it was the 1 assist.
Correct. Is that chemistry?
So it's not like he was lighting the world on fire.
Yeah.
I would also I have been very much for a lot of the season a Skinner should be in guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Skinner is playing on a line with Janmark and Arvidsson tonight and Podkolzin's not, I'm totally fine with that and would probably support it.
Yep.
But after watching the first game, if it was up to me, Arvidsson would be in over Skinner. For like after watching game 1, not that either of them lit the world on fire, but I liked what I saw from Arvidsson more in game 1 than Skinner. And if for Gord, who is targeting Arvidsson as the guy who could come out instead of Skinner, Gord, that would be my reasoning on why I would disagree with you there.
I think the coaching staff has never questioned keeping Skinner or Arvidsson in the lineup, especially if Skinner was the guy.
Arvidsson has been healthied once all year.
Not once.
So
I think
he was an automatic. He was never coming out.
I think his style of play too, and his track record is much better, especially in the postseason, than Jeff Skinner's. Was Arvidsson great? No. Did he fall down unnecessarily at times last game? Yep.
That's who he is. I mean,
he's a fall down guy. But he has like a jam to his game and a little spark that he can provide, and he'll surprise you with a goal or two here or there. I think his game overall just is more effective than Jeff Skinner's. And yeah, I mean, Arvidsson's contribution last game wasn't particularly great, but we know Skinner is always like option A to be replaced and healthy scratched.
All right, let's stick with the forward conversation for a second. 780-218-9999. See X-Ray J texted in. He's on a patio in Fort Mac today.
Of course
He's working up there right now. He's at a CBH, also another one of our partners.
Yep.
He's at a CBH patio in Fort Mac. Actually, it looks pretty nice.
They send a picture?
I do like those CBH patios with the comfy cushions and stuff.
The cushions and the rooftop
nice.
patios
They've redone their patios are well done. Yeah. Andrew the accountant is in and says, I think we will see Perry and Arvidsson rotate. I like these lines. Top two lines go to work, and the other lines just need to hold steady. So let's follow up that Andrew the accountant comment about the top two lines go to work. Nuge, Hyman, Kane. Nuge was essentially a non-factor.
He needs to be way
in game
better.
one. Like, he was such a non-factor. I'm not sure you guys even mentioned him on the postgame. Like, good or bad. Like, he was just there.
Yeah. He didn't do anything. He didn't.
I know.
Offensive zone, ghost. Defensive zone, ghost. Neutral zone, forget about it. He was just a guy in the lineup.
Thumbs up to you too, Gager.
Hello, Joaquin.
Thumbs up to you.
He needs to be way more effective and be a contributor and not just another guy on the bus.
So what do you expect from that line tonight?
With Kane, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman?
Kane, we haven't seen Kane in a calendar year almost.
A simple game.
Yeah.
You got a guy who hasn't played since the Stanley Cup final last year. Hyman, who's been nicked up, scores goals in front of the net like a dog. And then you got Nugent Hopkins, who did diddly squat in game one. Just keep it simple. Get pucks in deep. Let Kane and Hyman do the work. Get to the net. Create chaos. Score ugly goals on Darcy Kemper. There's a potential for that with those three forwards. They're three very good forwards. Very capable. We'll just see where Evander Kane's fitness levels are at. But if he's banging and crashing, he doesn't need to dipsy doodle. Go to the front of the net. Get that shovel out and dig away.
The troll texts in and says, Nuge has been a non-factor all season.
Incorrect.
Other than that 3-game stretch.
Incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, you're exaggerating a little bit there.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
I would say offensively, he was very inefficient the entire season, with the exception of the 9 points in 4 games.
Yeah. He did not have a good season. The start of the season was bad for him. Him and Hyman. But there was enough there later in the year.
Hyman ended up salvaging 27 goals.
Would have had 30 if he wasn't hurt at the end.
Not much else, but 27 goals is big.
Yeah.
What did he finish with? Not even 50 points, though, eh?
No.
Yeah, I mean, this would be huge tonight if Nuge and Hyman, who despite being in juicy offensive roles all season, didn't really produce remotely close to what we expected, and Kane, who hasn't played in a year, if those guys can have a good game tonight, I mean, I think the mindset of the fan base, assuming they win tomorrow morning, will change rather significantly with this team.
Yeah. They are capable. This is the postseason. Everything that happened in the regular season, mentally, you can let go now. You can kind of set your course and totally redeem yourself if you're Nugent Hopkins and Hyman, if you will. Kane, blank slate. They just need somebody who's capable. I know we look at the regular season like we should and utilize it as a tool to give us an idea of what these guys are going to be, but they can get it done. And Nugent Hopkins, I said it last year, Nugent Hopkins has this weird, like, good playoff, bad playoff, good playoff, bad playoff. This should be a good playoff year for him. Game one, not a good indicator, though.
But it's only one game.
That's true.
So we got that going for us.
Yeah.
Okay, Henrique, Brown, and Frederick. What do you think of that group?
3 good NHL forwards.
Three, yeah, like
Frederick, I don't even know how to assess him.
I gave him an INC last game, like
incomplete.
Kind of, but he did have an assist for an incomplete game.
Did set up that goal, but like he's trying to do whatever he can on one good leg. So that I think we have to keep in mind. I think everybody is keeping it in mind. I'm encouraged that he's good enough to play 2 consecutive games.
Yeah.
If he can give you 10 to 12 minutes and
it'd be nice if his mobility looked better today than last game, but as long as it's not worse,
yeah.
I mean, grind that thing out, I guess.
If that's all you're going to get from skating ability and speed, you got to work with it. And that sucks, but that line should be okay in theory. Henrique, this is a guy who had a bad year, but came on late in the season. Brown, he had a lot of tough stretches, came on at times late in the season. They're capable. They should be able to elevate. Will they? I don't know.
This would be, and this is kind of just off the top of the dome right now, but is this group the best forward group the Oilers have iced all season?
Well, who's missing, really, outside of Jeff Skinner?
Like, with how banged up they've been.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper,
the answer would be yes.
This would be, I think, undoubtedly the best forward group they have iced all year.
And that's
so let's see what they can do with
Jeff Skinner, who has not had a good year, but I know someone said they wanted Skinner and his chemistry with McDavid, but there really wasn't chemistry with McDavid. Skinner, in theory, could be a good player, but has not been for the Oilers. To answer your question, this is probably the best forward group they've been able to ice. Depending on how things go tonight, maybe Skinner gets back in, but Max Jones, no. Derek Ryan, no. Kasperi Kapanen, no. Those are just guys.
If you're watching over on YouTube, we are 43 likes away from changing 100 in the thumb column, and there's over 300 of you watching. So just hammer that for us. It'd be nice to push that through 100, and it just pushes the stream out to more individuals just like you who are super excited for Game 2 tonight. The back end, Nurse, Bouchard, Wallman, Klingberg, Kulak, Emberson. As long as it doesn't have Josh Brown in it, it's an improvement on last game. But when was the last time we saw Klingberg? Do we know when? How long have they been without Klingberg? Did he come back and play one game?
He did come back and play one game, and I guess he blocked a shot that he got hurt off of. His last game was March 27th against Seattle.
That was the one.
And
then how long was he out before that? I guess
3 weeks.
So he's played one game in 6 weeks?
That's right.
All right. So limited expectations then, I guess?
Very limited. Yeah. I suppose more reliable and a better option than Josh Brown. The guy that might be most game ready would probably be Cam Dineen, which I don't think is a great option.
Yeah. Obviously not if they start if they chose Josh Brown over Cam Dineen in Game 1, they clearly don't think he's a great option either.
Well, yesterday when I followed up on why the hell would Cam Dineen not get in, I was told by somebody down in Baco that Dineen is acres better, and it's not close compared to Josh Brown.
God, I've been in the same place essentially all year. Who's the better defenseman down there? Acres.
Cam Dineen.
Said acres.
Oh, acres.
Right? Didn't they say acres better?
Acres better.
Acres better.
In terms of measurement.
That's what I mean. Yes. So that's a significant measurement.
That is.
I never really know how big an acre is, you know? Like you'll see somebody, you'll be like, this is 20 acres. I'm like, wow, I thought 20 acres was bigger than this. Yeah. Anyway, we can't get sidetracked today. It's Game 2. We got to stay focused.
Let's go.
Klingberg has played 63 career playoff games.
Yeah.
The majority of them with Dallas, got 4 with the Minnesota Wild back in 2022, 2023. So assuming he can get around the playoff experience, which usually comes with a sense of urgency, you hope that's there in his game tonight, right?
If he gives you 10 to 12 minutes of reliable defense, then okay, that is a huge step up over the 454 +1 of Josh Brown, which was the +1 thing amazes me.
Yeah, that's why you can't really read into plus minus.
Yeah.
It was an awful game.
If Klingberg gives you something and he looks okay mobility-wise, he's not getting walked, then I think that is encouraging because, we're talking about the other options being Dineen and Brown. And oh my God, we can't wait till Troy Stetcher gets back. Can you believe that is the scenario we're in right now?
Yeah.
No
I know.
bueno.
I know. You know what I like about this lineup is that everybody's kind of slotted where they should be.
Yeah.
McDavid, well, I mean, Perry at this stage of his career is not your prototypical first liner, but we know the role he's going to play with those guys. And the thing with Corey Perry, and pretty much why he's had a really successful really successful regular season beyond our expectations, because he's smart. Mm-hmm. Like he knows, he still has the mind of that elite offensive player that he was for a long time in the league, right? Yeah. So the little things, you'll see that with McDavid and Draisaitl tonight. The keeping up in the neutral zone and stuff. Perry, just get to where you need to be in the offensive zone.
He did that.
Those guys will find you.
Did you know? Okay, speaking of his old man wiliness, did you see that one play where he had the puck down low in the Kings zone, and he walked around the back of the net, and then he actually switched hands on his stick and used his left hand,
pulled it around, and then protected, played it back to the point.
Yeah. And he made the
pass.
That
was a nice play.
I was like, that's a Gordie Howe
You
thing.
old bastard.
Old bastard.
Yeah, they have it on the inside, because he's a righty, to have it on the inside there. And then, Switch he pulled it around and then pushed it back with his right hand. That was a nice play.
And held the guy off.
I also liked his gamesmanship on when he got kind of touched in the face and totally tried to deno the Oilers into a power play. Mind you, he was more contacted in the face than Deno was on his head snapback. But Perry, I was just like, oh, you old goat, trying to draw one there. With the horrible officiating, I thought maybe they would have sucked him in. It was probably worth the try. But then Nuge and Kane, we'll see what happens with Kane. But Nuge and Hyman, the way they play this year, second line guys. Henrique, Brown, and Frederick, that's actually a really good third line in the National Hockey League. And Janmark, Arvidsson, and Podkolzin, if you want to describe them as a fourth line, is actually a pretty good fourth line in the National Hockey League. These guys are all slotted where they're supposed to be finally.
I'll give Podkolzin a thumbs up because his grinding style is fit for the playoffs. I thought he was okay. I don't expect anything offensively from him, legit ever. But I think he can give you a solid few minutes every game in the postseason where he's the guy that goes and hits the defenseman and gets on them, makes them hear footsteps. That's going to have to be his job, and I thought he did an okay job of that in game one. But
how much does Wallman actually play with Klingberg, and how much does Kulik actually play with Wallman? And then Klingberg and Emberson are kind of fit in here, you think?
Yeah.
Does it end up being Klingberg plays 8 minutes,
probably
9 minutes, Emberson plays 12, and the other guys all play over 20 again?
Yeah, probably.
That's likely what happens, right?
As long as you get more than 454 from John Klingberg.
That would probably go, a longer-ish way.
Wilson, the volleyball, said, Tommy, you're talking about Klingberg, right? When talking about defense. Yes, I don't expect much from him outside of hoping he can give you 10 to 12 minutes of
I think
somewhat reliable defensive.
The positive thing there is he can put
pass.
the puck on his stick and pass it to somebody.
That's the key. The other guy can't.
That's where he separates himself, is gathering the puck, controlling the puck, and passing the puck.
Yes.
Which
should
huge. Hopefully help them as a team.
Belsey and I were talking about Josh Brown and his game the other night, and this was on the Hangout, and Belsey, what do you expect from him? What do you expect? And I think Belsey was just trying to antagonize me a little bit, but I'm like, I expect him to not use his hockey stick like it's a curling broom and he's sweeping hard to the button and missing the puck like he did on that first goal. Anyway, I digress.
VR Montenegro wants your opinion, Tommy, on something that YouTube Trev and I might start if they were to win the game tonight.
What's that?
It was a very popular trend a few years ago when somebody would go, can I get a Hanya?
I don't even know what that is.
You don't remember that?
You guys say.
I thought you were a pretty hip dude. I thought you would know about hip dude stuff.
Don't tell anybody, but I'm not.
Yeah. Anyway, there was this thing where people were recording themselves and they'd be like, can I get a Hanya? And then everybody behind is like, Hanya.
That is so stupid.
It was stupid. I just randomly brought it up in the show today. But then and people were like, Dusty, people with kids are like, Dusty, my kids used to do that in 2022. It's 2024. It's time to move on.
That's 2025 actually, but whatever.
Yeah, it is 2025 now. So it's a trend 3 years ago.
Okay.
Probably was a TikTok thing or something. But Trev and I were like, if they win tonight, we can bring it back on. Can I get a win ya?
A win
And then
ya,
everybody
I could go
goes,
for.
Win ya. Yeah, but like it's different.
But the
it's
what's
not
the
as lame as the hun ya. I don't even know what that meant.
understand that.
But I know what win ya means.
Understand it.
And tomorrow morning, if they win tonight, Trev and I are doing the win ya bit tomorrow on the show.
All right.
It should be fun, I think.
That I could go for because it's a silly little playoff thing, which is fun, and
Right,
that's cool.
Good playoff runs have silly little things.
They do,
And that could be one of them. Like like if it gets, let's say they get to the conference final, and Trev and I start this win ya thing, and then I hop on social media and I'm like, "Can I get a win ya?" And then people are replying with their videos going,
Yes.
like, "Win ya," and it's just people like Edmonton is stupid, but it's actually just for fun.
I would take a win-ya over any music video anybody is thinking of posting out there for this playoff run. I just would like to put out a public service announcement
What
to
about
all
our playoff song?
musicians. No, hang on a second.
Careful what you say here.
Yours is done by actual musicians.
Yes, it is.
And cleverly written. And it's a fun bit on a radio station. Not, hey, look at me. I'm going to create a music video about the Edmonton Oilers and sing about them and rap about them and put out a cringe music video. There were multiple cringe music videos last year supporting the Oilers playoff run. All I'm asking...
You don't support local creativity?
I support local creativity when it isn't that cringeworthy. Don't do that this year. Let the professionals take care of that.
I don't know if anybody knows what the hunya came from or what it's supposed to mean.
Me neither.
But I'd like to know. Somebody, extra Jared Chet says, I suspect it was supposed to be a hell yeah.
Maybe.
And it just became, like did Stone Cold Steve Austin start this thing a few years back? Is that where it came from? All right, 780-218-9999. One thing I want to get to for Popeye's spicy headlines, swing on by Popeye's today. Huge partners with the Edmonton Oilers, Popeyes. So if you like to support things that support us and things that support your favorite hockey team, I mean, both Boston Pizza and Popeyes, huge supporters.
Yeah.
But swing on by lunch today and pick up your value menu items. Not bad. Corey B says, guys do it at work. I thought they were making porn noises.
It kind of sounds like it.
Are you guys making your porn noises?
No more porn
again
noises.
at work?
My goodness.
So what do you make of this? When Kane didn't play in game one, Friedman was like the NHL, but then Tkachuk goes and plays
I know.
last night in game one. So Elliot
Landeskog
Friedman is not making things up here.
No, I don't think so.
Was Florida just like, screw it? Tkachuk's playing game one, and other teams are like, okay, yeah, our guy didn't play.
That's
like,
possible.
what do you think's going on? It seems so, first of all, it seems so Bush that's even a story. Second of all, something's not adding up here.
I know. I don't doubt Elliot ever. Like, the guy is always spot on. He's 99.99999 times out of 100, he's right. So I don't know where this information came from, but Wyshynski made a good point that he's like, Friedge is the only guy that put it out there and went with it. And he did it multiple times. So he must have good info.
Yeah, he was the only guy. Like, nobody else chimed in on that at all.
Unless nobody wants to touch it.
Well, with that being said, if you're an NHL partner, Friedman's the guy you want to put. Like, if you're the National Hockey League,
Yeah.
the best insider at your broadcasting partner is the guy that'll push that stuff out for you.
And
if the other guys, the Draggers and Chris Johnston and the guys at TSN, I mean, I don't know, it is weird that only one guy, like LeBron, nobody else mentioned it at all.
Yeah. But you're right about them being a partner with Sportsnet, and that goes a long way. So I believe him. There's got to be something to it. They've been so mysterious about Kane all year. Even the last week when we were asking him in the scrum, like, did you get asked to go on a conditioning stint? He goes, no. And then, Knobloch comes up 10 minutes later. Did you want to get Kane down on a conditioning stint in Bakersfield? And he goes, I'm not going to comment on that. That's weird how they handled it. Excuse me. But maybe there's some truth to it. And the league was saying, you better be careful how you handle this. If that's the case, then I don't that's a crappy thing to do, but
I would have said, yeah, okay, show me the rule that we can't do this.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no rule? Okay, then our guys are going to play in game one.
And maybe that's why the Panthers are like, screw you guys. We're just going to put them up. We're going to put Matthew Tkachuk out there. Anyway, they lose game one. Maybe Kane makes a difference in game one. Doesn't matter. You're down one. You get him in, play him. All the league stuff, whatever it was, it's gone now. Get a win. Who cares?
Hersey says that Sens music video that is circling around is by far the most cringe playoff video I have ever seen.
I don't want to see
Tommy
it, but
Boy's
I want to see
PSA.
it. Yeah.
I saw that pop up on my feed the other day, but I did not click it.
Well, now I'm curious, and I'm sure it's brutally awful. Is it this one with the Ninja Turtles?
I don't know. I haven't watched it. Seems like a weird thing to do with Ninja Turtles in 2025.
Yeah, don't ruin the sanctity of the Ninja Turtles.
10-. This is interesting from 10- on where's our tinfoil hats and conspiracy theories on why Tkachuk played. Oh, I see Matthew Tkachuk's over in the chat as well.
Good to hear from him.
Truth is that the league didn't want their number one superstar and face of the league to miss any playoffs. God, I want to know who's behind that Matthew Tkachuk account.
Right.
Because it is very well done. If I wasn't on this side of the camera, I would totally want to be Tkachuk account guy.
Ryan Whitney, I think, has it.
What's that, the Sens thing?
Yeah.
It's the video that way. I mean, if the song's cringy and the video sucks, then you're a double whammy.
Is it song 2? Yeah.
From Blur?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is pathetically bad.
Here's the thing. If you're going to do a playoff song, it's got to bang. I've even done a few that necessarily don't bang. But I've done a couple that really slap.
Yeah, but you write the lyrics, send it to a production company, and they create the song.
Except I've now figured out how to do AI songs. And I did that one this morning. But, I mean, I'm going to dabble in quick turnaround AI songs. But for any of our headline things, like a playoff song, I'm still rolling to the production boys.
Yeah.
I'll pay that freight.
Yeah. If it's this song, like Ryan Whitney put it out there, he said, this might make me root for the Leafs. Yep.
10- says, Tommy, they think the NHL let them do it since he was hurt during the Four Nations and not an NHL game.
That's a logical, good point. Because
I still think it's lame. That's a risk you went to take on your own.
Oh, I know. And then that's the other thing too. Like did you see Charlie McAvoy's comments end of year press conference for the Bruins?
No, I didn't watch a lot of Bruins year end.
I know, but on Saturday, Belzy and I were talking about it. Charlie McAvoy had some interesting things to say about the Four Nations. Like he was like, I'm thankful I had a chance to play in it, and that's not lost on me. But he basically said that it was the Four Nations face-off that kind of ruined the rest of his year.
It's not the reason the Bruins sucked, though. I mean,
here, I have some of it.
They sucked because they sucked.
It cost me my season. It cost me a lot. I spent a lot of time emotionally just sitting with it because that was the reality of it. I'm sitting at home with a PICC line and this and that, and I can't play, and I can't help my team. I felt like it was a whole other season. So, yeah, that was in regard to...
Well, then you get offered a chance to go to the Olympics. Don't go. I mean,
nobody's saying no to that.
Well, exactly. So why bitch about it after the fact? It sucks. It sucks that it happened to you, but that type of stuff can happen to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Dylan over in the Nasty Chat says, should I go to Italian Center after work?
Yeah.
I've never tried it, but I heard you guys talk it up for years.
Oh, yeah. You get a panino or you get pre-made lasagna.
I mean, I would also, for like a game tonight, I'd suggest the take and bake pizza.
Yes.
They have the little pepperonis too.
The small peps.
It's very delicious. It's a good idea.
You can't go wrong there.
It's a good idea, Dylan.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever gone to the Italian Center and been like, oh, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, treat yourself tonight. It's game 2.
Let's go.
Cedric says, guys, question, is there a loony in the ice at Rogers Place? Have you heard anything about that?
No, I've not.
I feel like that's been done.
Yeah, I think so. Let's
come up with something else. Let's do something cool.
Cliche.
Like if they win, we go, can I get a win ya? And then everyone goes, win ya.
Win ya.
Zach, do you know about that trend from a few years ago? You're a young kid.
Of course I do.
So what was the deal with it? Where did it come from? The Hunya thing.
That's too deep in the lore for me. I kind of it kind of just came up one time. Everybody started doing it, so I
and now it's dead. But we might bring it back for Winyas.
Hunya.
Hunya.
Yeah. Can I get a Oh, yeah.
Marshall and the Muds do it sometimes around the house, and they love when I do it. Like, I could be anywhere in the house and go, can I get it? And upstairs, I'll hear the kids go like, oh, yeah. Tammy's just like, grow up, you loser.
I had a kid at hockey school, and I was asking, his name's Titan, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
That kid's got to play hockey.
He does.
It's like the stupid NFL quarterback named Easton Stick.
Yes.
Wrong sport, dude.
I was like, what'd you do yesterday after hockey, Titan? He goes, my dad came over. And then we went and played video games. Yeah. And then he like ran away. I was like, what are you doing? And I saw his mom. I'm like, here's my quote from Titan 2 minutes ago. And I did the exact same thing. She goes, oh yeah, he does that. He's weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's normal now? This is normal?
Kids are pretty weird nowadays.
Literally, he goes, my dad came over. And then we went and played video games. And I was like, what is it?
Did he gritty too?
He did like a and like he did like this hand motion.
That's called dabbing, isn't it?
It was like a dab, but then
Maybe.
And I was like, what is this? And then he just ran away.
Rot. That's what they call it. The brain rot memes, where it's like the trend or something like that.
No, I
where
don't.
you just do a bunch of stuff. I guess you, yeah. Or
I'm an old man.
The whip and the nay from.
Well, why can't we just get back to doing the Dougie?
Do you even know how to do
Remember
Dougie?
Tyler Seguin?
Yeah.
Tyler Seguin was a big Dougie guy. I never did the Dougie.
He's Douglas now.
Who, Seguin?
No, Dougie, because it's been so long. He's matured to Douglas.
Oh, yeah, that's his name now.
Yeah, or it is.
Teach me how to Douglas.
Yeah.
Teach me how to Douglas. All right.
Oh, my back.
780-218-9999. Jay over in the chat says, Dusty, just Google meme. Can I get a, oh yeah? And you will see a site, Know Your Meme, that explains the origin.
Jeez.
Bronco Nick says, didn't Urkel start it with did I do that?
Oh, yeah.
God.
But
that's a classic.
They're like, what
Urkel
you
would have
talking
been
about,
a huge
Wilson?
star on social media.
Yeah, he would be.
Hey, everybody would have been falling down and like, I've fallen and I can't get up. That would have been a big thing.
That was a thing.
That show, Family Matters and Urkel, would have been a big thing. What's that?
That is a big thing.
What's
but that was from an infomercial that it became a big thing.
But falling down and not getting up?
And I can't get
Life
up.
Alert.
Yes.
Well, like,
Yeah, but that's
Wilford
probably
Brim-
just ripping off Family Matters.
But that, I guess, is a meme before the meme became a
meme.
everyday thing.
Yeah.
And like, what was the other? There was a slap chop guy. Wilford Brimley. Well, I've been dealing with diabetes for 40 years.
Apparently.
I didn't know you had a great Wilford Brimley impression.
Cam Moon and I, one night, we were watching baseball. We might have had a few beverages.
There's some commercials
Had
running.
a gummy or two. And,
Every time that commercial came on,
and it came on, and we just started laughing. And then we started doing Wilford Brimley, and we probably didn't stop laughing for about an hour.
all right, sorry, refocus. 780-218-9999. Anyway, if they win tonight, first person who sends me a "Can I get a win ya" video on Twitter will go down as an all-time legend in my books.
I love that.
I'm just saying it.
And hate
if
it.
they win, and not you, Zach, you're not allowed to. Is that what you're going to say?
No, I was going to say like John Jones did that when he won the belt again, or defended it against Stipe Miocic like a year back or something.
Just a
He
year
said,
back.
Can I get a hiya?
And the UFC crowd was on it.
Oh, they're all
course
over
they
us.
were.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
the average IQ of a UFC crowd caps out at about 75.
Yeah.
I can say that. I was there at the last one. I saw it in person.
Somebody, Callan Sinabra says, isn't that Hunya thing from Letterkenny? I'm assuming it was just popular and they probably wrote it into some scripts. I don't think where it came from. All right, 780-218-9999. Let's see here. We had all this stuff with the lines. I see if there's anything else. Skinner Pickard. Skinner's going to go tonight.
Yeah, no surprise.
I mean, yeah, I was curious. Even Noodles today was like low-key making a case to maybe go to Pickard.
Really?
Which surprised me a little bit. I didn't think it was ever... I mean, if they win tonight, regardless of how he plays, Skinner gets game 3. What if he plays well and they lose?
That's
Which
what I
don't
asked
see a
today
world where
in
that
the
happens, but...
Belsey's theory on the hangout, and I don't disagree with this, is if they lose but he plays well, if the coaching staff feels like they just need a change of some sort, that might be the one. I would trust Calvin Pickard more this year in
Fair
the
enough.
postseason
In that
than I would
spot.
last year.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, outside of the Byfield goal, there were a calamity of errors that occurred in front of Stu Skinner when it came to the other 5. And I think what helps Stu Skinner too is that Kemper wasn't particularly good. And I think that kind of, because there's a tendency to look across at the opposition and go, how much is our goalie getting outplayed? And then you look at Kemper and you go, oh, not at all? Okay, well, go with the same guy. Plus, Skinner did make a couple of really big saves.
He did. I thought his third period was actually pretty good until the floater, the knuckler, got by him. I liked it. I liked his period before that.
He battled.
Anyway, they are going to go with Skinner tonight. D-Rock was asking over in the Nasty chat, and thank you to everybody. Today we've surpassed 100 likes over on YouTube, so keep hammering that thumbs up for us, though. Just push the show out to a few more folks. How physical is tonight's game?
I think they're physical, but not like.
I thought game one of the Kings Oilers was a lot softer than
expected.
Than some of the other series I've watched so far.
I think the physicality rises a little bit just because Evander Kane's in.
Well, you hope.
I think it does.
I mean, Kane go clangs and bangs early in this one, right? Like first shift, he's hitting somebody.
Yep.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't.
That's probably what he wants to do. Like, I'm sure he wants to score a hat trick. I would every game too if I was that skilled. But he's old enough, mature enough, has been around the league long enough that he knows that he's playing catch up for the majority of this postseason, however long it lasts for the Oilers. So the simplest way to get involved and have an impact is by literally hitting people.
Yeah.
And being physical and rattling them. Stay, within the boundaries of the rules and don't take penalties because that's going to piss off everybody, including your coach and teammates. Be physical. Yeah, go lay the body.
I hope that Frederick, the more he plays and maybe feels better, he ramps that up a little bit too. We know in that last game, like his first game back, he made that hit early and then kind of got banged up and had to miss more time. I hope eventually his body allows him to be like super physical as well.
Get in the defensemen's heads, right? Like just so they know that there's someone coming, you're going to get hit. And you don't have that extra second. As soon as you think you have that extra second is when you're going to have an advantage mentally. There were a lot of TV turns from the Oilers in game one where they wouldn't finish good opportunities. Just get the body on the guy to let him know you're there. And they turned away. So hopefully that changes a bit tonight. Not that they need to go and blow up the Kings. Jake Wallman, of all people, surprised me with his physical play, and he got caught running around.
Flashback to that first game when he blew somebody up, too. Remember his first period?
He got Rantanen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was Rantanen.
He caught Rantanen in that first game. So did Max Jones. But just bring a physical edge, and I think the fact that Evander's playing, probably there will be more physicality just because of him, which is good.
When the puck drops tonight, are McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice for the opening faceoff?
I would. Yeah, sure. Yes.
It seems like
do it.
I'll be very disappointed in non-block if they aren't, to be honest with you. Like after what happened in the third period, after what they did to Kemper in the third period, you're going to play them together. Like just be like, hey, LA, here's what's coming tonight.
Yep.
McDavid and Draisaitl start the game. I'm just worried that it's going to be like, they're going to start the Kane, the Henrique or the Nuge line. I'm
not
like,
necessary.
No, like don't get too pretty here. Like start McDavid and Draisaitl, get the puck in deep. McDavid goes and finishes a check, and everybody's on board immediately, which I think will go a long way tonight.
Yeah, set the tone, and he's not afraid to do that.
No, that's the thing. I think if he's out there to start the game, I think he will do that.
Yeah,
like it doesn't just get him in; it gets everybody else in more so than any other player doing that. So I'd like to see that tonight. If those guys aren't out there to start the game, I won't get it. I will not understand it for the life of me. Are you prepared? I think I'm expecting them to win tonight.
So am I.
Are you prepared for a post-game show if they don't win tonight?
Absolutely.
That would be.
I'm ready for whatever. I love this time of year. Don't get me wrong. That was a long day the other day. I was exhausted yesterday, but that was a quick reminder. It's like, okay, this is the pace of the playoffs. We're gonna have it's gonna be fun. There's gonna be a roller coaster ride of emotions. But if they lose game 2, we'll have many things to yell about. Certainly, I would happily pass off to the Latino Heat to get angry, unlike last game where I was the one who was getting. And it was funny because it was a slow burn. I was talking myself into it. The more I was discussing Josh Brown and the rationale there, and then the things that happened, the angrier you could just see it and hear it in my voice.
Oh yeah,
I went back and watched.
You're pretty hot right away.
I got pissed off.
Yeah, I was in the truck. I was in the truck pulling out of Boston Pizza, and I'm listening to you, and you're like, Josh Brown's playing. I was just like, oh, this is gonna be a good one tonight.
And I did preface it by saying he's not the reason they lost, but the fact that he was playing and it did directly lead to the first goal against annoyed the living you know what out of me. C Run had a text I want to get to via the nasty chat. Says Skinner almost got burnt on wraparound. He also isn't a good puck handler. I agree with the puck handling. He's not good at that. He did not end up getting burnt on the wraparound.
No, I thought he made a really nice save.
The fact that he had to scramble that way is concerning.
Yeah, but I thought Kuzmenko got that around quickly.
Yeah,
I remember sitting there watching it with you guys, and I was like, that was very impressive with how much he got his hands turned to tuck that thing at the speed that he was going at. So, I mean, when Skinner makes a good save, it's okay to give him credit for making good saves. And I thought that was a good save. Peter texts in today. I think today's game is very opposite of game one. Lower event hockey, both teams making adjustments to try and lock it down. That being said, Oil 5-2. So he's saying a lower event game, but the Oil still pump 5 more past Darcy Kemper. All right, you will be set up tonight, 6:30, GCL Diesel pregame show. We were at Boston Pizza for game 1 at the Westgate location. Tonight, game 2, it is Hudson's, West Edmonton Mall, Bourbon Street. And are you ready to be seating people and taking song requests for most of the night?
If you ask me for a seat in Hudson's Bourbon Street, I will be throwing you out of West Edmonton Mall so freaking fast, you won't even know what hit you.
Tommy's all business, man. He's all business.
I'm ready to go.
He's ready to go tonight. Should be good. Zach, what's coming up on EST Afternoons, buddy?
Lots of Evander Kane talk, I'd imagine, with Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Corey Hirsch, former NHLer broadcaster and public speaker, will be joining. We also got Hernan's World presented by the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf and Country Club. And we'll tee up Reed and Jay's show towards the end of the program. Of course, that's extended coverage, 3.5 hours leading right into pregame.
Nicely done.
Hey, Zach, can I get a win ya? Win ya?
Oh, my goodness.
We are ridiculous, but the coverage rolls on. EST Afternoons from 1 until 3. The Reed Wilkins Show from 3 until 6. Straight into the GCL Diesel pregame show. Nobody in the city is giving you 14 straight hours of pregame coverage except us. So tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. We would very much appreciate it. Turn on autoplay on YouTube. That'll take it right on over to EST Afternoons, which will be starting in less than 5 minutes. For Tommy Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielson. We'll see you tonight at Hudson's. Take it easy.